Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me know in the chat where you're from and what swim team you're repping. My name's Tyler Clary. I'm Director of Sales and Marketing here at Fitter and Faster Tour. Welcome to another episode of #FFT Live presented by Fitter and Faster Swim Camps. We've got my friend John Shebat here with us today, and we're going to be going over kind of a preview or a sneak peek type of thing into what some of John's online backstroke technique courses are like and why you should really consider signing up for some of those classes. You can really learn a lot. Before we get into that, I want to cover a couple of things. One, in the chat, please don't spam. We don't have a ton of people in the room today, which is honestly, I think, great. So we shouldn't have an overload of messages coming in. But if I catch anybody spamming, I'll ban you. It's that simple. Also, stay online to the very end of the show. We're actually going to be giving away a set of goggles to somebody who sticks around till the very end. Let me pull it up here. It's actually the Cobra Core Swipe Mirror Goggles by Arena. They've got wide, really incredible field of view, great comfort, and they have mirrored lenses. But like I said, stick around until the end, and we're going to select somebody at random from the room who gets a free pair of goggles, and everybody likes free stuff, right? That being said, John Shebat again is here with us. How are you, John?
Doing great, Tyler. Honestly, can't complain. Life's been pretty good on my end. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. There's a lot going on, so it's good to hear that you're doing really well. So you said that you've got your pool's open. I see some people in chat that actually have their pools open too. What's your pool situation like in Austin?
Yeah. So pool situation, we got really lucky. We knew the owner of an outdoor pool nearby, Austin Swim Club, and some of the college kids coming back from sadly leaving college, and some pro guys are able to kind of train there once a day in the morning. Our coaches aren't allowed to coach us just yet, which is kind of a bummer, but we have an ex-alumni, ex-swimmer, who kind of knows the way we train and knows the way we kind of practice. And he's kind of talking to Eddie and talking to us. So getting similar training that way.
Well, good. I'm glad that's opening up and you're able to still be in the water, because obviously not everybody's pools are open, but
right.
It's starting to happen, all over the place. Folks, we're actually doing a lot of clinics this month, next month, and a whole bunch in August. So keep in mind that pools are starting to open. It's just a matter of hanging tight just a little bit longer. Exactly. John, tell us a little bit about yourself. This is your chance. I want you to brag about yourself a little bit. Tell us some of your experiences, how long you've been swimming, any funny stories about how you started swimming, anything like that.
For sure. Yeah. So actually, my story is at an early age, I loved to swim. I did summer league growing up. I actually swam for Curl Burke back when they were Curl Burke when I was really young, when I was around 8 years old, until I was around 10 years old. Practices were really early in the morning, around 4 a.m. I really wanted to experience other sports, and I know swimming is very demanding, so you kind of have to pick and choose. So I actually ended splitting away from swimming when I was 10, and I basically pursued almost every other sport in the book rather than swimming. So I did football, baseball, basketball, soccer, all the sorts, all the way up until my junior year of high school. Actually, my story, I was big into football, and I played quarterback for a high school team. And right before two-a-days started, I went up to my coach and I told him, you know what, I'm going to have to hang it up because I'm going to full-time go 100% competitive into swimming. And then at that point, it was more of just a chip on my shoulder that if I was going to leave swimming, then you know what, if I was going to leave football, then I'm making swimming my one and only thing, and I'm going to work at it. Unfortunately, I didn't know how swimming recruiting went at the time, so I didn't realize that I was kind of set back a great bit. College coaches didn't know who I was. I didn't know what colleges were any good or who was the top dogs or anything in that swimming realm, but I caught on really fast. I had an awesome club team coach. His name's John Flanagan, and so him and I developed a really tight relationship. He helped me out great to get to Texas, and then that took me to my 4 years at Texas, where we won 3 national championships as a team. And then I won a national championship my senior year in the 200 backstroke. And then we also won some relays as well. So had some great success at Texas. My big thing when choosing Texas was I knew I wanted to go to a school that I could reach my max potential. And that kind of ties into all these classes that we teach you guys is you want to you don't want to hang up your cap and goggles and think you could have done any more, right? So you want to do as much as you can now so you can kind of set yourself up best for when you're done, you're relaxed, you're content, that you did everything you could. So now I love giving back. I love setting kids up to succeed in swimming, like setting them up to do even more than me. And so with these classes, that's Fitter and Faster gives me that amazing opportunity to do so. So I get to talk to you kids. Actually, since we're doing these online classes, I've been doing in-person clinics for over a year now, but these online classes are awesome, guys. I'm telling you, if you guys have the opportunity to sign up, I extremely recommend signing up. I do backstroke, and I'm also an IMer. For you IMers out there, we're basically like the avatars of swimming. We got to kind of master all 4 elements there. So I teach anything.
I love that reference, by the way.
Yeah, I know that show's pretty popular. It's getting back into it. But I teach butterfly, backstroke, strokes, turns. Who knows what I'll be teaching in the future. The online classes honestly give you kids an amazing advantage. You get to talk to people like me online. We get an awesome one-on-one where you and I actually get to connect personally. And then once we dive into our class, I go through a pretty strict schedule of how I run my classes. So if we're going, whatever we're going over that day, whether it's backstroke kick, whether it's full arm pull, we'll watch a video on what someone's doing wrong. We'll all discuss it. We're very interactive with each other. We're all just best friends. So like for my classes, no one's shy of asking questions. No one's shy of raising their hand or speaking out. It's mostly like a conversation with everyone. Then we watch someone who's really good, like Tyler, gold medalist, swim backstroke or swim these races. And then we go into in-water drills for those of us who have a pool. If you're not in the pool, then we have, I ask all my students to bring a paper and pencil, write down these drills and why they're important. It really helps them out. And then a lot of us are out of the pool, and dry land is never a bad idea. So then we go over a lot of dry land activities we can do out of the water. We do visualization afterwards. I think visualization helps big time in kind of teaching your brain to tell your muscles how to take these strokes and how to do these drills, especially if you're not in the water. We ended with some questions. A thing that I do that I like to separate myself from other clinicians, I love to just give you guys my email. If you're in my class, you have my point of contact. So a lot of parents and students will send me videos of them swimming. And so it's almost like a personal one-on-one tutor for that 4 or 2 week session that you and I are teaching, and we're kind of getting closer together. So that's something you get in these online classes that you don't get in these in-person clinics, is that in person, there's a lot of people around. We're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to master that one drill, these one perfect techniques. With these online classes, you and I, we go head to head. We dive into your stroke. We dive into the stroke. We go over all the importance and why we do it. We get technical. So we really try to understand exactly why we do the things we do in swimming and what makes fast swimmers fast.
And that's such a great explanation. I've also, by the way, chat, I put a link in chat. You should see that right now. That goes to specifically our online backstroke classes, and John's teaching those. So click that link and go check that out if you don't mind. Yeah. And then if you're interested in any of the other courses, I'm putting another link in the chat right now that actually are all of our different online swim programs. So it's actually not just stroke technique. We actually have, I think we're starting to do yoga classes. So you have private yoga classes where an instructor is going to be on there teaching you and adjusting your form if needed. We have online dryland classes too. So definitely check those both out. What age groups are in those classes?
Yeah, so we do age groups. From 9 to 11 is one, 12 to 13 is the other, and then 14 and up. So anywhere from 9 and up, you can sign up for these classes. It varies from clinician to clinician. So I'm teaching backstroke right now. and I'm currently teaching butterfly. I plan on teaching starts and turns in my next week's session, and some more butterfly as well. But who knows? I could be teaching breaststroke or corkscrew for all I know. So you definitely want to get on there and you want to sign up. And if you want that personal one-on-one with me, then choose whichever class I'm teaching, and you and I can honestly become best friends. But you got to sign up soon because there are only 12 slots per class. So you got to get in there and get that position done because they fill up quick. And so you don't want to miss out on this awesome opportunity.
Yeah, and just like John said, like one of the differences between, I'm sure that everybody in the chat room right now has been to a million different webinars over the last couple of months, right? And I'm sure people are pretty webinared out. But what's different about what we're doing is that the class sizes are very small and it's very interactive. So John will be able to see you, he'll be able to talk to you directly, and that way you're getting that kind of individual attention that you want. So it's definitely worth it. And honestly, and to answer somebody's questions, somebody asked, if you have to pay for them, there is a cost associated to these classes, but I promise you it's worth it. And also, John's a professional athlete, and we're trying to make it so that he can continue doing what he loves and swimming fast so that you guys get to keep watching him. So this does help him out too. John, talk to us a little bit about, how in some ways it's kind of good that a lot of the swimmers have been out of the water for the last couple of months in terms of resetting their muscle memory and being able to start over from scratch in a really good way.
Yes, exactly. That's a great point. So a lot of swimmers I've met in the past, training them, I've done private lessons all over the place. So many people develop these bad habits growing up. They've never really had that coach, that really technique-oriented coach to teach them exactly what to do and why to do it. So being out of the water this long actually helps us great, especially if you attend our webinars, and especially mine, is because we dive straight into the technique and we basically retrain your muscles on how exactly to swim the stroke. So when you get back in the water, you're not going back to your old techniques. You're diving straight into this new one that we're learning. And it completely changes your stroke. So it gives you a great little big fat reset button on your stroke. A lot of people say, there's that saying out there, you got to take one step back to take 2 to 3 steps forward. I think this is a great opportunity for that. A lot of us, this is kind of bad that we're out of the water, but there's so much good in it. And I truly do think that you want to take advantage of this good while you can, because you don't want to get back into the pool with your old stroke and still keep doing the same thing and then retrain your body of doing the same thing. Because once you get into that rut of a bad stroke, then you can't, it's really, really hard to get out. It's kind of like saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you know what? If you kind of set that reset button, of course we can.
You get to become a young dog again.
Exactly. Right. So much more energy.
Exactly. There was a question Ellen Gontrev asked if swim videos on demand cost money. It does cost money. However, there is a free trial period, so you can sign up, see if you like it, and if you don't like it, then you don't have to pay for it. It's that simple. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think are some of the biggest aha moments you've had with some of your students during these classes?
Yeah, I mean, just on the personal level with these kids. I know at first, just kids and humans in general, we seem to be pretty conserved and sometimes shy, especially with someone you either look up to or someone who you're learning from, or a teacher in general. We all know that first day of summer camp or first day of school, everyone's a little conserved, but by the end of summer camp, everyone's best friends, wishing they never left. So the biggest thing I've loved about my classes in particular is that we're all best friends. So it's not only just me talking to Tommy or me talking to Claire, it's Tommy and Claire talking to each other, figuring out some other drills they can do to dive into that stroke or improve. I mean, these kids learn a lot from me, but I learn a lot from them because they really treat me not only as their coach and their teacher, but also as their friend in general. So it really is something that you can't really get anywhere else. I mean, out of the water this long, you can look up as many drill videos on YouTube or even this swim clinic videos on demand, but to go and talk with someone personally to talk about each and everything and what to do and why this person's doing this thing is extremely beneficial.
I'm back.
All right, you're back.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. My internet went out for a second, but came right back. Anyway, the last thing I heard was you talking about, being very satisfying working with groups of athletes, and especially now when there's not a ton of contact that you get with people. So
yeah,
it's good to know that it's satisfying for you, and I'm sure all of your athletes really appreciate it as well. Talk to me a little bit about what your philosophy is or technique on how you break down stroke. Like when I'm coaching in a clinic, one of the ways I like to approach things is, I'll start out with the very basic parts of the stroke, which for me is always body position. I'll start out by establishing good body position and talking about why that's important, and then I'll build the stroke off of that. How do you approach teaching someone a stroke?
No, yeah, exactly. Especially for those kids who have bad habits, and so they're learning this brand new from anybody. It's sometimes even hard to learn just even by watching, but to even teach them in a way that can click with them, that they will remember, that's more than just in the water. So a little free tip for everybody listening is when I teach underwaters, I always compare it to kicking a soccer ball, right? So now every time you think of underwaters, and instead of someone telling you need a lot of really powerful kicks, you can think, all right, when you kick a soccer ball, you're using your entire body to kick that soccer ball. You don't just walk up to the ball, bend your knee, and try to kick a goal. You're almost never going to score. You got to take that running start, use your entire body. So I really like to kind of get down with the kids, kind of realize like what they're struggling with. But like you said, you want to start from the basics and then go into the more advanced. So that's kind of how we run our clinics. We start with the basics. I still have kids who are 18 years old who have been swimming their entire life, who still haven't really learned the things that they learn in these webinars, even from the basics.
Awesome. Well, good to know. Are there any sort of, what's the hidden value to you in doing these courses? Like, I think we've talked about a lot of the more obvious things.
Yes.
But in your opinion, what's sort of the real hidden value that somebody who's sort of thinking about taking some of these courses, but is kind of on the fence, might not think about in terms of what they get out of these?
Yeah, for sure. I think what I offer is just that personal level with these kids. Every kid has my email. It's almost like your phone number. Almost every single one in my class sends me videos of them swimming. Previous videos of swimming, most parents have these videos on hand. They email it to me, and then me and the kid, we sit down, we go over exactly what they can improve on, what they're doing great. So it's almost like outside of the webinar and outside of these classes, you're almost getting like personal tutor just freely involved just for taking my classes. So me and my students are absolutely on an awesome level with each other. We're not afraid to ask anything. And so it really gets these kids, especially, to ask the questions that they've been wanting to know.
Gotcha. Good to know. Well, that's awesome. And, I actually, it seems like you're really exciting a couple of people in the chat room, because one person said, when are we going to actually talk about backstroke? So guys, we actually have several other webinars on the website at fitterandfaster.com/replay, where you can see I've actually done a backstroke webinar where we broke down backstroke and talked about what good backstroke means and what it looks like and how to work on it. But we're not actually going to talk about backstroke in this webinar. We're trying to give you an idea of what these classes that we're offering look like, if that makes any sense. So definitely go to fitterandfaster.com/replay if you want to watch some of those webinars for free. And then again, the link to get to these online courses. Hold on, let me pull that up once again and put that in your chat box so you can see. So let's switch gears a little bit, because I'm seeing a lot of people saying, oh, when are we doing clinics all year? And I really want to talk about that for a second, because it's actually people would be kind of surprised, because last weekend I did a clinic.
Yeah.
And this weekend, somebody else that's on this webinar is doing a clinic. So I was in Atlanta a couple weekends ago, not this past weekend. A couple weekends ago, doing a clinic. It was our actually first clinic back. So Fitter and Faster's back doing clinics, guys. No joke. We're back to business. And John is doing a clinic at the exact same pool in Atlanta. So you excited to get back to doing clinics?
No, I'm super excited, and especially now. Again, everybody, we have a cap on our swim clinics because we know a lot of states have different rules on pools and how many kids can be at a pool at once. But I think these clinics are going to be almost better than ever because, like we were talking about earlier, we're hitting that reset button and we're giving these kids an awesome opportunity to reset their stroke, find that feel for the water that they've almost never had before, and kind of get right back into it. Especially because with the amount of kids we can have, it's going to be on that really good personal level again. Before we're going to get with kids, we're going to get down with kids on how exactly to swim each stroke, and then we're going to master this in that 1 weekend. So you're going to learn so much. But good thing humans' brains are big, and we can hold as much information as we possibly can.
Gotcha. Well, that's a really good point. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the feedback that comes in from your clinic. It's always really good feedback that we get from you, and I'm sure it's going to be especially good. And we are following social distancing guidelines, guys. So it's not, we're not having people packed on top of each other, kind of like we used to with having 4 or 5 people in a lane. John kind of alluded to this a little bit, but we are limiting the number of people that we have in the water at any one time to keep everybody safe. I'm putting up another link on in your chat box right now. That's going to take you to our website where you can see all of the clinics that we have coming up. And there's actually a little box in there, and you can type in your city and state, and it'll actually show you the closest clinics that are in your area. And even if your clinics your pools are closed down right now, we're actually in contact with literally hundreds of pools all over the country, and we're talking them through, what their status is, and even in some cases helping them open up. So you might be surprised, even though if your pools are closed down now, you may still find a clinic coming to a city near you, and you should definitely get on it and try to sign up for those suckers earlier because, again, spaces are limited. So check that webpage out. And so I guess we'll kind of wrap it up here. This wasn't meant to be a super long webinar. I want to answer a question that I saw. It was about doing the free webinars. So obviously, clinics are starting to ramp back up. We're definitely not going to be doing as many free webinars as we used to, but we are still going to do a handful of webinars every week. So make sure that you're checking in on our website to see what we've got coming out. We're doing a cooking show every week with Olympic gold medalist Sierra Runge. She does a great job with that show. We have a show specifically for coaches that are really, really good. We want to try to help our coaches out, especially right now, as much as we can. And actually, tomorrow I'm doing a breaking down the 400 IM webinar with Olympian Gunnar Bentz. So that's going to be a really good one. I'm excited about that one. So check all those out. And I think it's giveaway time. But before we do the giveaway, before I announce the giveaway winner, I actually feel like giving away 2 sets of goggles. And we're going to do this in a slightly special way. Okay. So I want to know from the people in chat right now, who out of you have Instagram? I want to know who on chat has Instagram and you follow us on Instagram. I want to know.
Double whammy.
Double whammy. So we're going to wait a second. There's a little bit of a delay, and then we'll start seeing people message. Guys, please don't spam. I only want to know once if you have Instagram. Because what I want you to do, so I've already got the name of somebody who is going to be our winner for this particular giveaway. All right. But what I want you to do is this. Okay. I want you to take a picture of our Find Swim Clinics page. Okay, I want you to take a picture of our Find Swim Clinics page, and I want you to post that on your Instagram, and I want you to tag at Fitter and Faster Swim Tour so that we know that you did it. Okay. And by doing that, you're actually going to get entered again to win another set of goggles. So tomorrow, you'll have somebody reach out to you if you're the winner, but make sure that you take a picture of this link. Hold on. Take a picture of this web page on your phone. I'm going to send it to you right now. Take a picture, post it on your Instagram, and tag at Fitter and Faster. Hello, doggy. Fitter and Faster Swim Tour. Okay. Also, make sure you, again, go to our webpage at fitterandfaster.com/live to check out the other free webinars. That being said, we actually have Taylor Smith, who has won our set of goggles for today. So congratulations, Taylor. I'm going to write your name down right now. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And once again, guys, we're actually giving away a set of goggles at every single webinar that we're doing this week. So if you want to earn another set of goggles, or if you want to earn a set of goggles, sign up for the webinar that Sierra's doing later today. It's in an hour and a half. And then also sign up for the webinar that I'm doing with Gunnar Bentz tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay. And again, if you take a picture of that link that I sent you earlier and you tag us on Instagram and you post that website on your Instagram so that people know that we're back to doing clinics, you're going to get another chance to win a set of goggles. Okay. John, do you have anything final for us before we sign off?
Yeah, I have something really quick. So everybody out there, I know it's kind of a bummer that all of our pools are closed or a clinic isn't by you, but remember, we're doing this to help you guys. So I'm here to help you. I honestly think this is one of the best things you can possibly be doing out of the water. It depends on what you sign up. There's a 2-week courses, and then there's 4-week courses. So if you only want that nice and concise 2-week course, we have that available. And then we also have that 4-week course, but really take advantage of this, everybody. There's only a few slots left. And I really hope that you guys can get in on it. All right. I hope to be your coach. And so if I am, you got to let me know that you found me on this webinar, and that's why we're connecting.
Absolutely. And that's such a great point. And to kind of, to end it, I'm going to redirect everybody to that webpage where they can check out the online webinars before we end. So thank you, everybody, for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, John, thank you so much for your time and for giving us a little sneak peek into what your classes are like. As always, stay safe, stay positive, and wash your dang hands. Bye now.
That's right. Adios.